Hey, this is AV Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com. In this review, I will be highlighting the special features and other notables of the Power Rangers Super Legend Retrofire line from the 2009 television series Power Rangers RPM. Each of these sets comes individually packaged, but I decided that since this is as far as the line has gone to this point, and they're small enough, I'll just cover them all at the same time. From left to right, we have the Wild Force Megazord, the Mighty Morphin Megazord, and the High Octane Megazord. Each Retrofire Megazord comes with an identical display stand. It comes in two parts. Obviously the classic Power Rangers lightning bolt and a generic display stand. You can put this into here like this, and you can also twist it side to side after it's been put in place. So you can put your Megazord into some dynamic and, dare I say, honorable positions. The Mighty Morphin Megazord made its debut, along with the Power Rangers franchise in general, in 1993 for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was the first Megazord that we ever saw. Because of that, the producers at Spawn Entertainment weren't exactly sure if Power Rangers was going to become the hit that it eventually did, and so it was always referred to on screen as simply the Megazord. Forgive me if I refer to it as such as well. The figure is a combination of PVC and ABS plastics. Even some of the crossover parts, like some parts, like the shoulder, the right shoulder here is PVC, the left shoulder is ABS. So, and trust me, this is not what the Megazord originally looked like on screen. It's had a serious stylized upgrade since '93. Which I really like, which is very, very attractive for the Retrofire line. Posability is, well, it's pretty good for the most part. The head is on a ball and socket joint, so it can look up and down, left and right. Both hips, well, it has a waist joint, which is really nice, which is really, really, really nice. And then it has the skirt armor, the front, side, and back of the skirt armor is PVC. But the thing is, it's a single piece. There's no joint in it anywhere. There's splits in it, but it's not jointed anywhere. So perhaps the biggest restriction is that the PVC skirt armor, it actually hinders a little bit. You can see it pushed back down on the leg there. And the other thing is that over time, if you leave, and this applies to all three of the Retrofire Megazords, the skirt armor will, if you leave it in one pose for too long, it'll just get stuck like that, and it might eventually push back. So, yeah, it's not. I don't know. It's very MSIA type feel to it. The whole line is, for that matter. As I said, the hips are posable forwards and backwards and outwards. Very generous, and then the knees bend to about 135 degrees, which is, wow, most Power Ranger figures don't even move that well, so that's pretty awesome. And then the feet can also be pulled back a little bit on both sides, so they don't push up. You can't push them up or just pull them down, so they're also a little on the hollow side. So the arms are more the unusual part of the figure. I don't quite know why they did it this way, but you can tell just from the arrangement that they have that the arms were specifically designed to pick up a specific set of poses that you see in the series. The right arm, and only the right arm, can twist outward at the elbow like that, but it doesn't have an elbow joint. You can pull it out of the shoulder, but not at the elbow. And then the fist can twist all the way around. You can also pull this off. The fist and the head are the only parts you can actually pop off intentionally. Oh, and the shoulder as well. And I'll just show you. See, you can pop off the shoulder armor. Again, only the right shoulder pops off. The left does not. But then, now, okay, so you can do this and you can twist this. Then you can, fold it up and down, whatever. Now, for the left arm, on the other hand, you cannot pull it up and down. However, you can twist it, and you can also bend the elbow You can also bend the elbow that, quite a bit there. So, and then you can also, shoulder back and forth. So why it is that they chose this arrangement for the arms, I'm not sure. It's a bit annoying, it's a bit frustrating, but some poses it works, other poses it doesn't. The Megazord features 2 accessories in addition to the display stand. You have the power sword, completely made of PVC. Fits in there very comfortably. And then on the on the left forearm only, see this hole right here, and it comes with a mammoth shield. Well, technically it's a mastodon, but it's called a mammoth shield. The shield is very hollow, and it has that peg in the back. All you do is you just fit the peg in the hole, and there you go. The mighty Morphin Megazord with the sword and shield attached. Next up is the Wild Force Megazord from the 2001 television series Power Rangers Wild Force. This one, I'll say right off the bat, is my least favorite of the 3. It's got some unusual and, I don't know, not well thought out features on it that I just don't get. The biggest one perhaps, or one of the 2 biggest ones, is the feet. If you look very carefully, you can see the feet are flat here, but then they're tilted over here. Why it has these 2 angles to them, I don't know. But it does make posing difficult. So you can see right there the difference in the angles. Now I've got it posed in just such a way, but if the arms were to be pointed straight forward, yeah, it'll always lean forward. So. And this one of the 3, this one has a tendency to fall over the most. I will say, however, that like the deluxe Wild Force Megazord, this one has the joints exposed. This you'll see better pictures in the text review. The joints in the back are not covered by skirt armor, which I thought was it does fit the profile, the general appearance of the Megazord. So even though it's covered in front, it's not in back, because the whole thing flipped around. So I'm not complaining at all that those are there. It's unexpected, but I'm not complaining. So posability is the same in the knee. Actually, it's only 90 degrees. There is, however, no posability in the feet and the ankles, other than those stupid angles on there. The other thing that's really, really irritating about this particular set is the arms. Looking at it straight on, you can see the arms are tilted outwards a little bit on both sides, but you can't pull them up and down. The only posability in the shoulders is up and down, and that's it, and that applies to both arms. The other thing, and this is the confusing part that I don't get. The elbows are fixed at one joint. One joint, you can twist them outwards and inwards, and that's it. That's all that the elbows can do. Very, very irritating. I don't know why, but you're very limited on what you can do now. You can't, like, the arms are always twisted then 90 degrees. The only maybe compensation, if you can call it that, is that the white tiger's head can twist all the way around, and you can pop this off if you have to. It still has a waist joint, which is, that's nice. But then the head, ironically, even though the head is on a ball and socket joint, it can't tilt up and down. It can only turn side to side. So, I don't know. I don't mind the exposed joints. The shoulders are confusing. The elbows are certainly confusing. I don't know why it is they made those so limited. They actually had a lot of space to work with, but... And then there's, the feet, which is just very, very irritating. So I don't know why it is they did that. As opposed to the other 2 sets, this set only comes with one accessory, and that is the Shark Saber, which is made out of PVC. The shark, the blue shark, it can't really open. It can't open its mouth at all. It's a single piece there for the lower. So what you have to do is you actually have to wedge the mouth open a little bit, slide the sword in when it's not looking, and then it'll come to, by the way, it actually holds the Retrofire Wild Force Megazord actually holds that shark saber easier and better than the original deluxe version did, which was just, you know, you stuck the very tip of the blade into the shark's mouth. It didn't grip it, so, you know, it's nice to see they actually improved on that. And finally, we're dealing with the high octane Megazord from the current 2009 series Power Rangers RPM. The eyes for the individual Zord attack vehicles, they aren't actually eyes this time. They're actually detailed in as headlights. So they've got little circles on each, or they've got a bunch of little circles in each one, rather than, you know, a single circle for pupil, iris, and on and on and on. And then they've all been painted a generic blue as opposed to, or generic light blue as opposed to having, you know, like detailed eyes on them. Kind of odd. They're called Zord attack vehicles, and they've got such expressive eyes. Well, the advantage to the Retrofire Megazord is it doesn't look stoned all the time when they're separated. So the posability on the Retrofire High Octane Megazord is exactly the same as it is on the Mighty Morphin Megazord. The hand, you know, twists in there and can pop off. The head is, again, on a ball and socket joint, so it can actually look up and down. The shoulder is this, the right shoulder is PVC, the left shoulder is ABS. The arm, again, actually has better range of motion at the elbow. Just twists farther, and the fist in there. A little better illustrated here, you can see the right skirt section's actually been pushed forward a little more than it has been on the left side. Posability still is, you know, very, very good. Unlike the other two, however, the feet can actually tilt upwards in addition to pointing downwards. So the feet on this one, even though it's smaller feet, they have a better range of motion. The Retrofire High Octane also does have a waist joint, but it's actually, as opposed to being, you know, being down by the hips or whatever, it's actually in the upper torso. So I don't know why it is they did that, but I figure it's just probably an easier connection joint or something like that. I mean, if they'd taken the bear crawler out of there, would you really have noticed it? Would you really have noticed that it was missing? Again, like the Retrofire Mighty Morphin Megazord, the High Octane Megazord comes with two accessories. Comes with the Super Saber, which thankfully this time actually looks like a saber. It's made of, it's all made of PVC, so that's good. Getting it into the fist, it's not a circular handle on it, and the hand is not, it's not just a hole. They actually, you know, it actually has like individual fingers molded in there. So getting the sword into the hand can actually be a little tricky the first few times. You just have to learn how to work with it, but it'll hold on to it just fine. So nice big long sword for a change. The left arm again features the hole there for the unnamed shield. Now the shield in the series, and again there's that peg on the back there, in the series the shield would be positioned like this. Oh, let's see. Okay, what's a good angle? I don't know. That's not a good angle. The shield would be positioned like this, but the problem is the exhaust pipes on the elbows and the fist bump into the two what is it called, gas tanks. So the Retrofire version, at least, will fit better if you turn the shield sideways like that. However, it limits what kind of poses you can get into because it just bumps up against the shoulder armor there again. So even though, you know, you can block the face with it, you're also blocking everything else. You can't really pose with it. So I don't know. I like, though I will, you know, I do like that the shield has, it's actually a shield rather than just having a bunch of gaps and looking kind of weak like the deluxe size version does. So that's a good thing in my mind. Get on there. Get on there. Oh, whatever. For all three Retrofire Megazords, as I mentioned earlier, each one comes with a display stand with a peg on the end. There's a hole, where else, in its butt, and you stick the peg, into the hole in its butt. Now the thing about the posability is that the peg on the end of the I don't know, the display base, it only points diagonally like this. So it's good for action poses, but you can't make it stand upright. But, you know, alternatively, of course, you can twist it around on the peg, and you can make it face in the opposite direction as well. Or you can turn it sideways if you must. So it's good for, like, running poses and, let's see, spur of the moment pose. It's good for running poses and things like that, which is nice. This is what is known as reshoot. Something I'd like to point out, in case you're wondering, well, Ava, why are you promoting the Retrofire line when, you know, we already get 3.5-inch figures? Well, have you looked at the 3.5-inch figures lately of Megazords? We've got this, and then we got this. These figures can't pose. What they have is action features. That's what they're there for. They kind of sort of pose, but it's only because of the action features. Yeah, this thing opens up. No, actually, the action feature, and that's kind of cool. I kind of like that one. But I mean, you can't really do anything. And again, are these really any better than the deluxe-sized sets? So to me, the Retrofire line is, well, much better option. Can't believe I hung on to those figures all these years. Good grief. Well, I suppose I've just justified the reason why I did. The Retrofire Megazord line is very welcome, in my mind. It's not perfect, but it's an awesome start. And it solves one of the problems that I've had for a very long time with the deluxe-sized Megazords, the deluxe-sized Megazord sets, and that is posability. The standard was set a long time ago with the original Megazord, which just had those joints, and that's it. Because of transformation, you could get a little here, and that was it. About 10 years later, posability got a little better. We had extendable joints with the elbows that could turn in and out. That was awesome. By the way, we haven't seen joints like this since 91. The head couldn't really turn, so, you know, whatever. And then in 2009, we had elbows that could turn outward, or shoulders that could turn outward, elbows turn inward. But we still always had the limited shoulder joints. That's all we've ever had. That's all we've ever had. In, let's see, in about 17 years, from here to here, it never changed. It was very limited all the time. If we ever got anything extra, it was because it was a transformation joint, and that was it. Again, transformation joints, so that will fold up. It's not because it's a posing option. So the Retrofire line is very welcome. I really, it's like I said, it's not perfect. I wish they were about an inch taller, but I don't mind that they're not, or that they're non-transformable. Okay, I've got the transformable versions. If anything, I'd like to see more of these produced. The Titan Megazord, the Zeo Megazord, I'd like to see the Astro Megazord. The Astro Megazord is one of my favorites. There's just a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's about 17 or 18 of them. I just love to see produced. About the only beef that I can really find with these sets, other than you know, the skirt armor and the kind of odd shoulders, the other beef would be the limits on coloring. It's noticeable here along the side of the leg here. You can see compared. You can see it's painted. It's painted black, and it's got silver, and it's got the number 2 on there. But it's also got on the back, you know, it's got gold on it. It's got some red back here. It's even got, you know, yellow and blue up here. So color would be wanted. There were decals along the side of the Megazords, the original Megazord, that were not transferred. But you have to keep in mind, though, even with the simplified coloring scheme, these look like anime versions of all these guys. Like, if you put Power Rangers into cartoon form or anime form, I believe wholeheartedly that's what these three would look like. So, like this guy's big, broad, stretched out shoulder joints, slightly elongated head up here. It's very form, very fit figure. I think that the Megazord, the Mighty Morphin Megazord, made the best transition of the three. I actually think the posability on the Wild Force Megazord actually outdoes this one as far as the arms go. So, like I said, this is my least favorite. This is probably my most favorite, most for nostalgia, and this one just looks plumb awesome. So, it's a good line. I would really like to see more of these. I think Bandai did a very, very good job with these. They're not the best, but I think it was a great jumping off point. If the Retrofire line continues into later on in 2009, even into 2010, I will support it. If they can keep it up to the same standard as these three, go for it. Well, yeah, other than the arms. And once again, I would like to thank Vivian of the Rogers Group for generously providing these samplers for me to cover for all of you. Thank you very much, Vivian. Greatly appreciate it. This is Ava Unit 4.